Hi, my name's Arleen Ferrara of Satori Garden Design, and thanks again for allowing me the opportunity to submit a design for the demo project. I'll talk now about my second submittal, which is a more formal approach. And I'm a homeowner in Santa Monica. Get this right here. And I have an old Spanish house. So this whole idea of taking natives and putting them in a more formal garden is one that I'm working on right now for my own house, and I have a sustainable landscape grant to do that. So this is something near and dear to my heart. I do think that convincing some folks that you can utilize natives in a more refined manner is important, because a lot of people just have an opinion that they're all sprawling and they're unkept and they're unattractive. So there are some natives that don't fit those qualities, that are quite neat in their habit and can be incorporated. So I wanted to do a garden that really spoke to that. Okay, so first of all, I started with this access with a small water feature in the middle. This is just a recirculating pondless fountain utilizing a ceramic pot where the water flows over the outside of the pot and down into a basin and back up again. It's a real easy fountain to install. A homeowner can do it themselves, but it does give it does lend that really nice effect of water in the garden without splashing everywhere and wasting a bunch of water. So I continued the shape of this curve here, this circle, with a bench made of boulders and flagstone, and I provided a detailed drawing of that separately. And then I continued the curve here with a ground cover of sedum and the 3 pots that are made of recycled milk jugs, and those pots are 18-inch square, and they contain, in this situation, some edibles, some lettuces and chard and spinach. This circle here is a material of pavers, interlocking pavers that are made by Bellegarde, and they're considered sustainable in that they're a heritage material, one that you would lift up and repurpose, use somewhere else. So they're not something that would go in the landfill. This pathway is decomposed granite, so it's permeable. Now on to the plant choices. This is Monardella villosa, coyote mint. It's a purple blooming, neat edging material that I think could create that parterre effect of a more formal situation. Inside these beds, I've got some Lamus Canyon Prince, California Wild Rye, some Salvia Bee's Bliss, also a purple blooming and very supportive of habitat, native. This is a penstemon Midnight, actually. It's not native, but it's very supportive of hummingbirds and other insects. Over here is a native plant called Verbena lilacina delamina. That's got a neat rounded form as well. We've got some euphorbias here. I love euphorbias. They're my favorite plant. And this one is Portuguese velvet. It's beautiful textural plant and rounded form. Most of these plants have that sort of rounded form, and though many of them are native, they still have a pretty neat shape to them. Over here is some sedum, autumn joy, a great plant that it blooms and then the blooms dry and they look pretty on the plant. So it has a long season of interest, and then it dies back and then comes back out in the spring. So it's always a wonderful plant in any garden. And then this is a mullen bersia El Toro. It's a smaller mullen bersia but I wanted to incorporate it to have that billowy effect of the wind movement from the plumes. So that covers that area. Over here is more shady from the building, so I incorporated some more lamus, which can handle some shade, some lepicinia, which is pitcher sage, also native, and these are Rhamnus californica, Eve's case, and that's a real nice coffee berry, not too huge, but very rounded, dark, leathery leaves, great as a foundation shrub. And these are ribes, spring showers, a great plant that does die back and comes back every spring, also native. So I think that covers it. Oh, forgot about my one very special specimen tree here. This is the Palo Verde tree, the Circidium Desert Museum. I felt I obviously needed to create some sort of feeling of a specialness about this area with a specimen tree, having the seating nearby, some light shade, and I wanted to use a low water using tree like the Desert Museum. An alternative I put in my alternate list was the desert willow or the western redbud. Any of those would be good choices. And if you had more space, it'd be great to do an arbutus or catalpa. There's a lot of great specimen trees that are not too water thirsty that could be utilized in this situation. I also put in here 2 citrus trees, a lemon and a lime. And I did that because I wanted to have edible plants in this design, but also just show people that they can be part of your flower bed if they're hydrozoned appropriately. So I did put them in this larger section of the flower beds. Well, I think that covers it. Thank you very much once again. Sorry I couldn't have been there, but I do really appreciate the opportunity. Thanks. Bye-bye.